Hey, welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome if you're new here. I'm Ashley. This is my channel, Ashley the Amazing. You can thank my dad. He's the one that gave me that awesome nickname. And today I'm going to discuss something that I feel is not been touched on yet. It is controversial, perhaps very opinionated, triggering for some. Drum roll, please. We're going to talk about reviewing the home gym, garage gym equipment reviewers. Why? How do you know that you are listening to someone that knows what the heck they're talking about? So how do you know that they're actually reliable, that they're valid, that they know what they're talking about, and that you can spend thousands of dollars on this piece of equipment just because this person who you don't even know says for you to buy it? That's what we're deep diving in today. So without any hesitation, let's plunge in head first. So first off, I feel as though there's two different categories of reviewers. There's the reviewers that are more like interior home decorators, and there are reviewers that are more like the engineers of the body. So when I talk about the interior home decorator, I'm saying that they're the people that are going to set you up with something that looks really pretty and fancy and has this whole like vibe, feng shui, whatever meets your own personality setup, where it just looks really nice. Hey, look at the cool knurling. Hey, look at these pretty colors. Oh, let's get ridiculously gauged steel because we're never going to lift that much weight, but it's really cool that it can do that. Never mind the fact that it actually doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And then you have the engineer person who understands that it's not necessarily the priority to have something that looks nice. You want to have something that actually functions and does what it's supposed to do, right? You have the people that study anatomy and kinesiology, and they know when they use this equipment, hey, this is good. It's going to do what it says it can do. And then there's going to be kind of like this in between, which there are a few reviewers who have a little bit of both, who know the purpose and functionality of the equipment, and they also know when equipment looks good and it's going to fit your space. How do we decide who is who, and how do we put them into categories and just rate them on what they should be discussing? They should be reliable and they should be authentic. When we're talking about reliability, we're talking about we want them to be consistent over time across different conditions. No matter what equipment they're reviewing, they are consistently giving us pros and cons. We want someone to be authentic, which means we want them to be themselves. We want them to be themselves across different platforms. So if we check Google, if we check YouTube, if we check Instagram, if we check TikTok, we want to make sure they're the same person across different platforms. We want them to be authentic in the sense that they're using their own words. If I were to go to that product's webpage, I wouldn't want to see that they copied and pasted the review or the description of the product in their review, because then I understand, okay, it's not what actually you think, it's what they're trying to sell on the product's page. Like, get the hell out of here. Continuing on with how to rate and review a reviewer. Let's cross-reference. Are other reviewers saying the same thing about the product? If not, why are they different? Is their background different? Is this person a interior decorator and this one is a mechanical body engineer? Let's question that. Reviews should also include data or evidence, as in if they're writing a treadmill and the treadmill says it goes from 1 mile an hour to 12 miles per hour, have they tested that? Have they shown that? Have they said they've done it? What does it feel like? When we're looking at those objective measurements of as if the treadmill goes from 1 to 12, or if the weight stack goes from 0 to 220, do they include photos? Do they include a quick video to showcase that it does? Do they back it with data? If you're gonna claim something, you gotta show that it does that. When we're looking at reviewers, we wanna make sure each reviewer has credibility. What is their, like, do they even work out? Do they even lift? Does someone that does equipment reviews need to lift? Yeah, they need to know how to use the equipment. In my opinion, they need to know anatomy and the basics of training. There are a lot of reviewers out there. I watch their videos because I'm curious about equipment. I don't have all the equipment. And some of them, there's one in particular that just lights me up because he clearly has no idea how to train. I watch this person in his videos and I'm like, dude is slinging for bicep curls. He's slinging the weight for rows. His squat is, okay at best, which makes me cringe. Like, okay, so am I actually going to listen to you to get this squat bar if you don't even know how to squat? Or am I going to listen to you to get this leg press when you don't even know how to leg press? No, I'm not. Good reviewers are transparent. They disclose biases. They disclose if they're affiliated, if they're getting paid, if they're sponsored, if they got it for free. They need to disclose that stuff so you know what's their motive. Are they doing it because they are passionate and want to share it with the community, or are they doing it because they get a paycheck? I know there's one company, they offer some of the influencers a monthly paycheck in order to promote their products. So even if the person doesn't like it, they're going to do it because they get this income. And who doesn't want easy income? I'm throwing no shade, that's fine. But you need to be transparent about that on your reviews. That like, hey, I get paid monthly from them, so therefore that's why I promote them a lot. It's my job. Where there's other reviewers who don't make a dime, or maybe they get free equipment, they put that in their review and they're transparent about it. And they give you their biases, they give you their affiliations. They are upfront and honest with you from the start. Lastly, when it comes to credibility, let's talk about reputation. What is this person's reputation? Are they known in the community to be a solid person, that they're here to help, or are they here for themselves? Get an idea, ask around, do some digging. The internet is full of free resources to find out about people. I've done that myself. There are some reviewers who posted they have certain qualifications, and I was like, wow, that's a really good qualification to promote, to have on your resume. And you can go to some of these websites like NASM and NSCA. You can go to them and type their name in and see if they actually have those credentials. And there's one person I found that he's promoting that he has certain credentials, which when I went to verify it, he does not. So he's false, he's lying. You need to be aware of these things. Always be skeptical, guys. It's the internet. Like, not everybody's out there to help you. Most people are going to be out there for themselves. Now, keeping the snowball rolling from credentials, that's going to go under expertise, reviewer expertise. Do they have expertise? If they are telling you a product does what it's supposed to do, it's going to hit your lats, it's going to work your biceps, it's going to work, it's got a great squat bar. What is their qualifications? Are they a chef and they don't have really any idea? They're just a weekend warrior? Or is it someone that actually knows what they're talking about? They understand anatomy and physiology. They understand how the body moves and how it's supposed to move through certain movements, so they can tell you if it's going to work for you or not. They should have that niche knowledge. If you're in fitness, you should have fitness knowledge. Look for reviewers who compare products based on actual use or extensive knowledge of that niche, right? We want to make sure that they've actually used the product. Do they know what they're talking about? I mean, how long have they had the product? Have they used it once, twice? Has their friends or family used it? What's their feedback? Just because it works for me, because I'm 5'10" and 175 pounds, doesn't mean it's going to work the same way for someone unless I understand mechanics and can express that through the video and review. Let me just say this. You wouldn't want somebody who's an expert in automotive repair necessarily also telling you they're an expert at training just because they work out 2 days a week. I'm not saying that's not possible, but I'm just saying you don't go to your doctor when you're sick and he has another full-time job and he just doctors 2 days a week. You want someone to tell you when it comes to your body, like, hey, I'm the expert. I'm going to tell you what's wrong. I'm the doctor. Same thing when it comes to reviewers. There's a lot of reviewers, and I am not saying that all reviewers need to be obsessed with fitness like I am. It's my life. But you need to kind of have some kind of background. You need to have some kind of education. You need to know anatomy to a certain extent. You need to know mechanics to a certain extent. How can you review a product if you don't understand how it's supposed to work and how that applies to the human body? Next, let's talk about content quality. You want your reviewer to be detailed oriented. You want them to give good, specific insights. You want to have pros and cons over every piece of equipment, because there is no perfect equipment. If there was, we wouldn't be coming out with new equipment every year. Just like Chevrolet and Ford makes new model cars every year, the fitness industry makes newer, better, progressive equipment each year. So they need to list the pros and cons and discuss those rather than just saying, oh, it's good. It feels good. What do you mean it feels good? Feels good how? If I'm doing a lat pull down and I feel it in my traps, Is that good? No. Honest reviewers highlight both the positives, both the strengths of the equipment and the weaknesses. As I said previously, if they keep saying, oh, it's good, oh, it's good, oh, it's good, question it. Be like, how is every single thing you review good when I've watched Joe do a review and he said completely opposite? Why is that? Question it. When it comes to content quality, we want to have somebody who understands problem solving, meaning great reviewers anticipate questions that potential viewers and buyers might have, and they address those questions in the review. Reviewer, like for me, when I do a review, I have a whole giant whiteboard full of notes, pros and cons, things like questions. I have already mapped out all the things I'm going to say before I'm on camera saying it. That's because I want you to be prepared, and I don't want to waste your time. I want to make sure that you're watching me, you get the facts, you get my opinions, and then you can make the best decision for yourself. Some reviewers respond to comments. They answer questions, they give feedback. That's a good sign because it shows they care. You go to their videos and there's all these questions and no one's ever answering them. They don't care. They probably just posted it for money, for free equipment, for something. So look at the comments. Do they engage? Do they show they actually give a flying that you care? You want to hear the whole meat and potatoes. You just don't want the meat or the potatoes. You want the whole thing. Tell me so I know exactly what to expect when I spend my thousands of dollars on this piece of equipment and it arrives in my house from start to finish. How is it shipping? How is it built? How does it look? How does it actually work? Also want them to mention their target audience. Want them to explain who the product is best suited for, intended for, and why. The next category, comparative insights. Does the reviewer compare the product to other competitors or alternatives? I know that I have received products in the past where companies have either said, hey, we'd love you to compare us to other products. There's other companies be like, we don't want anything else in the video. You have to have your garage, cover everything else up. We only want the consumer to see our product. So make sure there's a little bit of a variety. And if you only see that product, understand that could possibly been dictated by the company who just want you to see their content. But take into consideration that when a reviewer rates it compared to other things, they're letting you know your options. When we're talking about comparative insights, we also want them to include context, which is address how the product performs, right, within its category or price range. If you're buying a budget unit, I've reviewed budget units, I make sure hey, this is a budget unit and you're going to expect budget quality prices. When you buy a Lamborghini, you expect Lamborghini quality. When you buy a used up beater, you expect it to be a used up beater, right? We don't expect to go and pay $500 for a junker car for it to be ready for the racetrack, right? We know that, but you need to say that in your videos. You need to be like, hey, it's a budget piece and this is why it does this well. This is a very expensive piece, but this is why you're getting the quality. This is what it offers over the lesser value brand. Reviewers should offer value added insights. What does that mean? It means they should offer guidance and tips and tricks or training advice on how to use the product. We'll go back to that one reviewer that he's an interior designer. That's all he does is he talks about knurling and the color and shiny gauge steel, and he doesn't actually ever show him talking about if the product does what it's supposed to do. I'm not going to say who it is. You guys can use your imaginations. For me, since I have a very extensive background in training, I like to show people hey, if you're getting this leg press, I've reviewed probably 8 or 9 leg presses by now, leg press, hack squat combos. You can put your foot position here and you're going to get more quad activation. You could put your foot position here and get more hamstring or glutes, or you could sit at this position, or you could move the platform this angle, which will then affect this. A good reviewer is going to give you extras, right? When they know their stuff, when they know training, when they know biomechanics, and they know what the heck they're doing, they're going to pass that on. They're going to throw that in there, but sprinkle in some helpful advice in there too. Reviewers should also suggest other options if the product isn't a good fit. Hey, this leg press is going to be great for people from 5'5" to 6'3", but this leg press isn't built for short people or extremely tall people. You might want to use X leg press. Show people where to go if the product isn't for them. Give them direction. Give them something because they came to your video for something. Make sure they leave with something. Next, disclosures. Make sure somewhere during the video in the upper corner in the description, they disclose if the review is sponsored, if it was gifted, if it was promoted. Address unique features. What does this company's product have that other products don't? This product has a space-saving design, which is great if you have a small space, but that's going to require some additional tools and setup so that you can have that small space design. Or it's going to be great for a small space, but you're going to have to sacrifice X, Y, and Z in order to fit it in this small space. You want reviewers to give recommendations, right? They're watching you for recommendations. For example, this is a great choice for endurance athletes, but if you're seeking strength, you might need a different product, which I would check out this one. Other really cool parts that reviewers can add that adds a lot of bang to your buck is including practical insights. And what I mean by that is they mention maintenance, they mention installation, they mention safe setup tips if they're relevant, right? Just because you build a product and sit it there doesn't mean it's done forever. If you have a treadmill, you know that a certain amount of miles, a certain amount of usage, you need to put lubricant underneath the belt. Same thing with gym equipment. It doesn't just sit there and be good for all the time. There's bearings that might need grease. There's, all kinds of things, bolts that might need tightened after continual use. So these should and could be addressed. Again, you're just giving your reviewers more information for them to consider when they're spending their hard-earned money on this piece of equipment. Whew, that was a lot in one review, and sorry if it was a little over the place, but I had a lot to say, and I didn't say some of the things I wanted to say. Maybe I'll say it in another one. Maybe we should continue this. Maybe this is a part 1. Maybe we should go to part 2. I'm not name dropping, so if you're going to ask me who these people were that I called out, I'm not going to name them. Go ahead and make your guesses, make your assumptions, but I'm not going to say anything. If you stayed here this long, here's a little end credit. I'm fairly new to the review world. I've been doing this just under 2 years. I just love fitness so much I want to share it with everybody. So that was the motive behind this video, because it just chaps my butt to see some of these reviewers putting out garbage and then people buying this stuff. And I'm like, why? You're going to be selling that on Facebook Marketplace in the next 6 months. So that is why I'm here. One thing I do want to address is affiliate links. I have a ton of affiliate links. Speaking from my experience, the affiliate links that I attach my name to are products I use, I trust, and I promote. I'm telling you that as a fact now. If you see an affiliate link on my page, it's because I align myself with them. I believe in them. I support them. I have their back until they prove me otherwise. And I can't say that for everybody. I can say that for me. And when you use a person's affiliate code, like if you use my codes, I get 5 to 10% commissions on some of those links. Not all of them. Some of them are just links. They don't make me a dime and they may or may not save the viewer anything. But at the end of the day, that money just helps me go into creating this content. I don't make a living off of affiliate links. I do this because I love it. I went to school to get my master's because I feel like I didn't know enough to coach and help people. And on my vision board in my bathroom, I have one of my goals is to get my PhD. I read every single day because I don't know enough to help people, because when it comes to fitness, we just know the tip of the iceberg. There's so many things. And I just wanted to share the things that I've learned with you, so you spend your money wisely on equipment that will support you, your needs, and your goals. I appreciate you. I will see you again next time. Go dominate. If you need me, you know where to find me. I'm also on Instagram. I post a lot of training content of like tips and tricks and cues. So go ahead, go over there and check it out if you want to see more. Thank you for watching. If you like this, give me a comment, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more about this. Until next time.